Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tackle Productions. Today our Bancroft being joined once again by Jimmy, Jake, Matt, and Fluff's not here today.
Damn, what happened to Fluff?
Uh, Something
He
about
didn't read
Guitar
his
Center.
cards and know his plays.
Keep mind his buttons down below. Feel free to click them to their reason. Today's matchup is our first round of our tournament. It is me versus Matt. Matt has brought back Soul Striker Gogeta, and I've taken Goten finally out. Well, yeah, let's get into it. Beforehand, both these deck profiles are on our channel already. I think Matt, you mentioned there wasn't much of a change of yours.
No, a few minor tweaks, other than adding a foo, and there's not a whole lot of difference between what's available on the channel and what this is.
Yeah. And so his profile will be down below in the description, and this is the Goten deck that I had put on the channel about last week, which will also be down in the description as well. So check those out. But yeah, going into this matchup was very interesting. I think my first thought was there was two people I didn't want to play against, and Matt, you were one of them, because Soul Striker just has that ability to manipulate their energy to their liking, and I know you can get big cards out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I had never played against Goten or played the deck myself. Honestly, I couldn't have told you what the leader did before this game, so I'm not really sure what to expect at this point.
So, going through a little bit of the deck. So, the Goten, this is, in my nature, theme base. I do have the core engine for Goten, which is the Goku 1-drop and the Unison Gohan, which work together to give the leader triple strike. My only problem with that effect is that it is an activate main, and in my honest opinion, anytime you give a leader card a power boost or a double or triple strike ahead of attacking with it, your opponent's going to negate it. No one wants a 3 damage coming their way.
Yeah, especially with blue, where even the most aggressive blue decks are probably running, I would like to think, besides Baby Hatch, at least 3D magics, if not 4, and then probably another, negate specific to the deck. Like, this deck runs the PyCon negate to get into the 8-drop Gogeta if necessary. Jimmy, what are some other popular blue negates you're seeing right now besides D Magic?
I mean, Child's Army is always good. That's probably the best one if you're trying to protect the Unison. Just due to it giving the ability to get into the battle step using the blocker. Of course, Trunks is always there. I still think the card is kind of mediocre, even though it's been reprinted 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Its use fluctuates depending on the meta, which is what I honestly like about good old Heroic Prospect.
I run it as a 2 of right now. It's against Bancrofts, in this matchup, it's not particularly, useful. In other matchups, it's, incredible. It's it's I would probably take it down to a 1 of if this was a best of 3 and maybe sideboard, 2 or 3 more. It just depends on the matchup, really.
I will say a lot of this deck relies on the leader, Unison swings, and that's about it. Now, I do play the Gohan package, which there's the negate Gohan for 2 energy on your opponent's turn, which either draws a card or gives Unison a marker for 2 energy to negate and play, and then for 2 more energy, you evolve the 4-drop on top of that card, or the 1-drop Videl in my energy right now. If she's on the board, she searches for a Goten or Trunks, which is great, but for 3 energy activate main, you can actually play a 4-drop Gohan from your hand if it does not have barrier.
One thing I was really surprised in Bancroft was it just not an ideal hand for you, but your Goku Divine, I can never remember the card's name.
Divine Presence.
Divine Presence and Energy. How did that happen?
I had 2 in my hand.
Well,
I would never charge that card unless I had a second one in my hand. So to be told, charging it should have let you know there's a chance I had it in my hand. And there are some cards, I know Jimmy has done the pan tech before, where you charge the double strike pan, and your opponent's like, oh crap, okay, gotta wait for the second one to come out. But I just didn't want to charge anything currently, and I was like, I can charge this card, I have the other one in my hand, I'm good,
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot else in this game right now where you can pay 2 energy to get a 25k swing, a 30k swing, and a skillless on the board. So another 20k vanilla swing. I mean, that's quite a bit for 2 energy.
The skillless doesn't come out; it goes to the hand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought,
but still,
nevertheless,
this card, most of the time, you're not even running the skillless to target in the deck. You're just using it as a 30k dual attacker for 2 energy, which is still absurd.
That cannot be removed during your turn.
Yeah.
Now, I do run it in Red Gogeta, and I do actually take the skilllesses to hand just as late game combo fodder.
Yeah, that card, I said it in my Vegeta profile, but that card is just good because your opponent has to deal with it. There's no way around dealing with that card outside of like yellow can tap it down, but still that's using their resources to tap down 2 energy, which could be, less resources to deal with later on in the game.
Well, yellow can Nimbus, red can Violent Rays.
Yeah, but there has to be a response to the card, and you're going to get that card on field pretty much no matter what.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it is. Yeah, I mean it has deflect. Can't be removed during your turn. I mean, it is 2 energy that will absolutely result in some sort of value. And if nothing else, you're baiting out one of their high-level negates if they're going to waste a Nimbus or a Violent Rays on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, a few things we kind of flew past. Crown Retribution, always a great card. And it was great getting rid of a Godsling from your hand. But this interaction right here was very interesting. So, your extra card, which allows you to play the 5-drop, bounces a card to my hand. And I think when we talked about this earlier, it was just not fully reading the card. Instead of choosing the Raditz, you chose the Goten. So I was able to neg your Gogeta.
I was bound and determined to get rid of that Raditz. And my reasoning at the time, and it was flawed, was bounce the searcher back to hand. That's fine. He can have another searcher, but we're gonna bottom deck that Raditz, and it just a misplay. I should have realized that. I'm gonna bottom deck the Raditz, but I'm also gonna make my my 25k Gogeta relatively ineffectual from a swinging standpoint this turn. Because he goes from, is Raditz negging 15?
Yes, neg by 15. Yeah, so it went down to a 10k.
Yeah. I mean, just a dumb play.
And I don't feel like your hand was in a comfortable spot where you could combo cards out to make that attack go through.
No, I didn't even swing. I was like, no, screw it, pass. No, I mean, I don't know if the result of the game is any different. If nothing else, I would have put some pressure on you. I assume you would have negated the swing.
I don't remember if I had open energy or not. I don't think I had open energy. I would have had to combo cards off or take the double strike, going down to 2 life, which is always very risky.
Yeah, that's red. Never really wants to go below 3. Do you run Imposing Presence in that deck?
Imposing Presence is the
King Vegeta
counter.
Yes, there's a 1 of in this deck.
Yeah, that card's just fabulous.
Oh yeah. So after abusing Gohan's draw power, I switch out for the Gohanks, which is a great Unison in my opinion.
Yeah, Gohanks is
That's huge.
Probably. Is he the best red SCR at the moment? Broly is so damn niche.
I think it just depends on the deck, because like Broly can be really good, but you need a battle card with a Saiyan, if I'm correct, with 35,000 attack power.
I don't run base. Broly in Red Gogeta, and Red Gogeta has multiple 35Ks in it. I run Gohanks, which is not to say Broly isn't good. It's just Gohanks is he's both tremendous defense and he's a win con.
I think for your Gogeta deck, it works great because for those who aren't familiar with Gohanks, it has an auto which is a +1. When your opponent attacks a battle card, you neg that battle card by 25,000. But the -4 gives it triple strike, and it can restand itself at the end of your turn, so you're not risking the dual attack by swinging only once and then have solo blocking. You can swing both with the triple strike, and it boosts it to a 40k battle card, which is always nice.
He also negs the board 25 on play, ignoring barrier.
Correct. And this Unison also works well with this leader and this Videl counterplay, where both the Gohan and this one are energy cost of 3 or more, or Pacific cost of 3 or more. These effects work out great. So Videl, free counterplay by taking 1 marker from your Unison, and negs 2 cards by 20,000.
She is my favorite red counterplay by a mile. It's just she's limited. Red Jiren, who you really don't see much of in the meta anymore, even though he is a fantastic Unison, can take advantage of her. Gohanks can take advantage of her. Who are some other 3-drop red Unisons?
There's Sin Shinron.
Yes. God, he was a meta changer when he came out.
We've seen it coming back a little bit with Nick's Surge Broly build as well.
Mm-hmm.
So here you're just trying to apply pressure to me, and I ended up comboing out of that. Like, I went down 3 life. I'm comfortable there. Not quite comfortable going below that right now. Because, like, at any given time, I don't think you play any double striker cards like Champa or Kai, but you do play a lot of cards that have double strike.
No, I have Murray Chem is, he's one of the absolute staples of Soul Striker, and I think I run him as a 3 of. This crown is kind of deflating here.
And getting it off just was such a nice thing. And truth be told, if you did have a Godzilla in your hand, I would have paid another energy just to play the crown. Because it allows me to know if I can survive or not next turn, and if it's a rough situation, how can I go about the best way? Now, granted, you're still going to get a draw for turn. You're still going to get a leader strike draw. And if you were to counter me, you're going to get a draw off baby as well. So you're potentially adding 3 cards to your hands that I won't know about, and I just got to take that risk of what's the best strategy that I can do at this given moment in time.
What counters do you have in your hand at this time?
So I know I have Topo, and I have a Violent Ray. I think I also have the Gohan counterplay. Sorry, you mean counterattack?
Counterattack, excuse me.
Yeah, Topo, Violent Ray, and I think I have the Gohan as well. Oh, I also have the that Vegeta. No, that's not the Vegeta one. That's the Vegeta one. If you were to say Dimension Magic by striking a life, I could counter your counter.
One thing that I will wait till the next turn, but there's some thoughts I have on blue counters against red that I'd like to share. But I'll address that on when it actually happens. So here I am restanding my energy, and on this turn I'm going to neg baby 5. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I can get an 8-drop Gogeta out. I can, bait him into a negate to get counter ape out. And then, I can use the rest of my open energy to play Rebirth of Justice and get out Freeze at 100%. So I'm thinking, well, surely they'll get me around Gogeta. One of the mistakes I make, and, really it probably wouldn't have mattered because my hand size is so small at this point. But coming up here, I'm going to swing with lead, and let's see what Bancroft's counter is.
You're, what, is it plus 15 double strike?
It's 30k double strike.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bancroft, I believe here you're going to play Topo, if I'm not mistaken.
So, here I'm looking at the Gohan scene. So, I know you have the Golden Imager. So, I'm trying to figure out which negate to use. And I end up using Topo. 2 reasons.
100% the right move, because the more I think about it, if you're blue, let it now. It wouldn't apply in this situation because I'm down to like 2 or 3 cards in hand. But generally speaking, if you're blue and you have a hand, I would say let them play Topo and save your counter baby for Violent Rays. Because if they get that Violent Rays off, your win con is over. You're done. The Topo, you can play around Topo. In the words, we give him a hard time, but Scotty was wrong when he operated under the assumption that Topo meant turnover. I mean, you can play around it. Violent Rays, it turns off your window.
Yeah, Violent Rays turnover.
Yeah, Violent Ray, yeah, it is.
So I felt comfortable taking the 2 life. I didn't want to combo out of that because I didn't know if I were to combo out of that and you happen to draw into something that can benefit you and I can't get Violent Ray off, then I feel like I might be a sitting duck. So I was like, take the 2 life. I still have 2 open energy. If I need to, I can still negate just fine. Just hope that you don't have what you need in your hand.
My primary hope going into this turn was, to see Fu. And, because really, if you're blue and you get to turn 6, it's, now, you want to talk about game over. Fu game over. But sadly, I did not see Fu. And I quickly realized after that Violent Rays that this game would unless I saw Baby hatch, this game would quickly be coming to an end.
Man, you still have 5 open energy. Like, I was like, okay.
You Violent Raised. I mean,
you're right. But look, in this situation, I'm not aware of how many Unisons you play. You do have a 3-drop Trunks already on the board, which is under 20,000 power, because I called battle cards. So you could play another Unison. You could play another 3-drop battle card. Like, you had more attacks there. And I felt if I didn't play this out correctly, I could be screwed.
The only attack with my build that would have helped would have been the SS3 Gogeta Unison, which is 20k dual attack. That could have caused you to waste some resources. But again, I'm down to like 2 or 3 cards in hand. So I've got all the open energy in the world, isn't going to get around that.
Yeah, Bancroft does have to be careful here. Depending on what's in your life, you could just sneak through to another turn and just steal a win.
If there was a baby in my life, that would, totally change the game. Because then he, even with the Gohanks Unison on the board, he'd probably have trouble surviving.
So here, I swung with the leader. You took it, swung with the Unison. It's only 25,000 right now. You said no to gate, which gives me an opportunity to give it the double strike I need. And just combo, play Divine Presence. I don't know why I'm messing up now.
Yeah. I mean, really, the reason I let the attack through is my only hope at that point is the 1 life I'm going to take is Baby Hatch.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't matter. So when he played the double strike, I was like, meh. It's, good game. Bancroft completely outplayed me. Deserves the win.
So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Keep in mind there's buttons down below and on the screen. Jake or Jimmy?
Read your cards, know your plays. And this was just really proof that even though Soul Striker is like some would call oppressive force in the meta, it can be taken down and be taken down by unexpected decks. So just keep your chin up when you sit down at locals across from a Soul Striker player.
And also, if you were a commenter, please comment and tell Jake to bring back his Kid Icarus with new fun yellow tech, because I want to see Jake bring Kid Icarus back and Dougie on everyone.
Y'all ever wonder why there's 2 fucking outros?
It's always
every
crazy.
video. What the fuck is this?
You ever watch
the 2 outros?
You ever watch Red Letter Media where sometimes they have the dueling intros? This is dueling outros.
The Red Letter review of Attack of the Clones is perhaps the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And this is me clicking stop record.